I started the selling process, sold my business earlier this year, and then I sold all of my belongings, whatever I couldn't sell, I just gave away to my friends and family. Hey, I got this stuff for free. You want to pick it up? Take it, and it was like the most liberating thing ever because I thought these things made me so happy, but after getting rid of them, I got far happier.
Hello, and welcome to Uncovered, the podcast with your host, Jason Irving. Join me in a journey to understand what's truly happening in your world and the world around you. This is not about how you're living life on the surface. It's about what's truly driving you from under the covers. I'm going to take you on a journey to deeply uncover the reason why you are here, the ultimate purpose in your problems, and the way that they have shaped your life up until now. See, I believe you have a purpose, and your problems are the highway towards ultimate realization of that journey towards freedom and the reconnection of your true self. I've been told I have a different spin on most things, and I'll be giving you my understanding of life, love, and what we're all here for, purpose. To get the best out of this podcast, drop what you already know so you can discover what's beyond you. So join me, let's play this game of life and bring on liberation, transformation, and change. Let's do this. Hey guys, welcome to Uncovered. I've got an amazing human to chat to today. We're going to have a great conversation around what really, really matters in life. AJ, you've been through a lot in your life, so I'm really excited to have you on Uncovered. Welcome today. Thank you so much for jumping on with me today.
It's an honor, Jason. Thank you for having me. We've been connected for quite a long time, going back and forth on Facebook, so it's great to be on here.
Yeah, it's great to actually have our first actual real conversation today too on a podcast. So, AJ, can you give us a little bit of a background of where you're from, who you are, what you're about, mate?
Yes, my name is AJ Mihrzad, and I am from New York City, USA. I grew up there my entire life, and up until 1 week ago, I actually moved from America to Thailand. Now I currently reside in Bangkok, Thailand, and I just had this intuitive urge to travel around Asia. So I'm in Bangkok now, then I'll be going to Japan, China, Korea, Hong Kong, Australia, India, Philippines. Amazing time and amazing place to be close to everything.
That's amazing. So look, can you give us a little bit of an idea? I saw a post a while ago on your Facebook feed basically saying you sold your 10-bedroom home and you decided to ditch everything and let go of your old life. Can you tell me what happened? What was the reason why you made that decision?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll bring it a little farther back to give a little context of why I did what I did. So I came to America a refugee. My family fled a war-torn country. I was about a year old, and we were very poor. We struggled financially, and we came in a deep place of scarcity, trying to make it. I always grew up hearing my parents complaining about not having enough money. We can't feed the kids. We can't pay the rent. Financially, I had all these fears, and I was the oldest of 4 boys. So I always felt responsible for my family's financial destiny. And over time, I started to educate myself, and I learned English, and I really understood that in America, if you work hard, you educate yourself, you take risks, you start a business, it's a capitalist society, you can become successful. So as a young kid, I had a big dream of becoming a self-made millionaire. There was a show in the 80s called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And I remember being a very young boy watching that show and saying like, wow, people could be so wealthy and they could have all these nice things, mansions and nice cars and private jets and yachts. Why not me? So that was my number one goal. And I just worked and worked and worked. I educated myself, got a master's degree in psychology, really understood how my mind works, wanted to understand other people's minds. And then around 2010, I started the business that helped me become a millionaire. That is a business called Online Super Coach. And it was a business that helped personal trainers grow an online fitness business. Back in the early 2010s, online training was in its infancy, and I was one of the few trainers that was actually doing it. So while I was doing it, I was asked to speak at various seminars to discuss online training. It was a new concept, and people really were fascinated by it. So I had this big idea of creating a webinar where I teach personal trainers exactly what I do to grow my online business. I literally just did screen recordings and I shared organically, share my backstory of being a personal trainer into an online fitness coach. And I just launched that webinar and it just exploded. Within a year, it actually made my first $1 million. And I really feel like I made it. I'm successful. And I wanted to continue to scale my business. And I hired a mentor that we both work with, Mr. Taki Moore. He was very beneficial in my growth because he allowed me to not only grow my business, but sustain my business. And I remember shortly after joining Taki's Black Belt Mastermind, I set a goal of buying my dream house. And literally within 3 months, I purchased it. I bought this 10-bedroom, 6,000 square foot mansion with a movie theater and a basketball court and a swimming pool and a tennis court. I mean, you name it. It was the house that I saw on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And I continued to just buy more things to really prove to myself and prove to the world that I am indeed successful. I bought a Bentley, some Mercedes cars. I started to really splurge and fly first class everywhere, go to high-end restaurants. And at first it was fun, it was exciting, and it made me happy. And then I started to realize like, wow, I'm not as happy as I thought I would be. I was climbing up this hedonic treadmill, buying more things, accumulating more stuff, but my happiness was not increasing. So then I realized like, wow, like I thought I would be happy forever. I thought once I became a millionaire, lived in a mansion, drove a Bentley, had this amazing, luxurious life, I would reach enlightenment and I'd be happy for the rest of my life. That, of course, did not happen. I actually went into a very, very, very deep depression because there's one goal that I had as a young boy just pretty much became crushed. I accomplished it, but I was like, what's next? And then over the years, I did a bunch of soul searching and it kind of led me to where I am now.
I love that. So, this is one thing, listeners, there are people who will be listening to this and wanting to get where you've been. And there'll be people who are resonating with this, who I've seen this. I remember when I was in Black Belt, I saw a lot of really unhappy people in their eyes. And this was really, really common. And I was looking, because I do personal development.
Yes.
I wasn't a business coach. I was looking at everyone having their dopamine wins without their heart-based connection wins. It was really, really different. And I saw a lot of people, I had quite a few people reach out to me and say, hey, Jay. And we're like, hey, I didn't really know who these people were. And they'd reach out and say, I'm having a meltdown.
Wow.
And it was really, really common because this thing that you experienced is really, really systemic in the business world. That people have created this idea that success and money and all of these things are going to bring this sense of happiness. But when it doesn't, the walls sort of come crumbling down. But most people don't do something courageous like you have done. Most people just go, well, I've created this identity. I've built this who I am this person. So everyone sees me this way. So I will continue on completely dreading my days. But while I've got these amazing things behind me that shows me that I have made it, in quotes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Not just Black Belt, but many business masterminds are so focused on the bottom line and everyone's competing to make the most money, right? I need to be a $20,000 coach. All right, now a $50,000 a month coach. Okay, the magic is at $100,000 a month. Once I'm there, then I'm a 7-figure coach. And it's this drive to like race and get there. And oftentimes you get there and it's like, wow, this is it, or it's that next level. Because even in Black Belt, I remember when I made my first $100,000 a month, then I joined this other mastermind boardroom and there were guys making $300,000 a month, $500,000 a month, $1 million a month. And I was like, wow, there's more mountains I need to climb to be more successful.
Yeah. And this is quite challenging. I know when I was in the airport one day and I was hanging out with a bunch of people in a big mastermind, and I said to them, I don't want to be earning $1 million in a year. I want to do it slowly. And they looked at me like I was weird because it didn't I knew the money didn't matter to me so much. It was something I wanted to know that I wasn't going to lose myself in that financial wealth and lose my well-being as a result, especially mentally and emotionally. So can you tell us, when you had that moment for yourself and you realized it wasn't at all what it cracked up to be, you would have been posting stuff on Facebook like you normally would and going, hang on, this isn't me.
Yes.
How was that when you were posting, doing your regular posts, going, this isn't me, but I've got to keep running my rhythm? What was that like for you?
Oh, it was so much anguish and inner turmoil because the person who I was a decade ago that I started the business, and I was so focused on money, so focused on success and status, and letting the world know, proving to them that I am indeed wealthy and successful. I was not that person anymore. So there was a huge disconnect because my business is teaching people how to make money online. So I'm, in a sense, triggering their pains to make them realize, hey, money is where it's at. You need to be making $10,000 a month as a trainer. If not, you're a loser. Why are you not successful? What's wrong with you? And in the personal training world, it's a mythical six-figure personal trainer. That's their big, big goal and dream. And at the same time, we are pushing that marketing. And then I just felt this disconnect. It kind of felt a little icky to me because all I was doing was talking about my clients' financial wins, sharing case studies. This guy made $50,000. This one did a $20,000 launch. And it was geared around that because most people really, if you highlight, let's say, this is a very talented trainer. He's transformed 100 lives over the past year. He's very successful at what he does. Most people aren't driven by that. They don't want to be the best in the world at what they do. They want to be the wealthiest, right? Because if they make more money, then they could improve the quality of their life, enjoy more wealth, but also increase their own personal status. It's that identity that I'm a six-figure business owner. I am successful. So when we were pushing that marketing, I just felt the big disconnect because I realized there's more to a business than making money, right? Because there are people that could make indeed $1 million a month, but they're doing it in a very unethical way. They're just selling a bunch of stuff that people that don't need it, putting people in debt, focus so much on the bottom line, but they're not focused on the client's results. They're not focused on serving people at the highest level. And I realized like, wow, coaching, in my opinion, now is far more important about giving people an incredible life-changing transformation. I respect coaches more, even though if they don't make as much money, but if they put in heart and their soul into it, and they only work with the people they're aligned with, and they're really getting people incredible life-changing results, I find that to be more respectful than the person who's making 6 or 7 figures.
Yeah, I love that. So you moved over to Thailand for a little while. And I remember we were chatting a little bit on Messenger, and I could see you were having a little bit of a struggle with yourself and what was going on. Seeing a transition in the way that you were communicating on Facebook as well. What was happening for you when you moved over to Thailand? I saw something where you really noticed a real difference in the fragrance of the way that the people were there. What was the difference between this capitalist and this Eastern philosophy way of approaching that you noticed?
I appreciate that. Jason, you were very helpful, actually. This was back in March of this year. I was struggling with energy. Now, I've always been a high energy guy and big on health and fitness. I try to do everything possible to optimize my energy levels, but I was just so groggy every morning, just laying in bed, unmotivated. I just didn't feel like doing anything. And this was really messing with my head. And of course, I tried supplements. I tried various techniques, saw different specialists, got blood tests done, tried to do everything from a scientific point of view to make sure I'm dotting all my I's and crossing out all my T's. Even though I did all those things, I was still extremely tired all the time. So I got desperate and I decided to just post on Facebook and just share like, hey, I'm going through a tough time. I'm just very tired. I can't pinpoint what exact thing is making me tired, I've gone full blood work. I'm eating extremely healthy. I'm exercising. I'm getting enough sleep. I'm tracking my sleep. I'm tracking my steps. It doesn't make sense to me. Please help me. And Jason, you were extremely helpful, actually, because you reached out and you gave me a lot of great advice. And actually, a lot of that advice helped to start turning the wheels and just making my energy levels go up, looking at maybe it's not a physical thing. It could be a mental thing. It could be some type of trauma in my subconscious mind, some type of issue that I'm not aware of, a blind spot that's holding me back. And I did take your advice, and slowly and surely my energy levels did improve. And I realized that, my life is not at my highest ideal. And I just live by this quote to eliminate anything in your life that is not excellent. So I looked at all of these things that were okay or good enough, having a business at the time, living in this big ass 10-bedroom house, having all these cars, having all these huge liabilities, right? There are expenses, because I was really working to sustain a certain lifestyle, but the lifestyle wasn't making me happy. And I realized, for me personally, I needed to do a hard reset. Instead of trying to just figure things out and doing things slowly, eliminating things one by one, I'm going to eliminate everything. I'm going to sell every single thing that I own, my business, my house, all of my material possessions, my cars, anything that attaches me to being in one place. And once I sell everything, I'm going to minimize my life to the highest capability. And from there, I had the idea of actually going to Thailand. At first, it was a vacation. I started the selling process, sold my business earlier this year, and then I sold all of my belongings, whatever I couldn't sell, I just gave away to my friends and family. Hey, I got this stuff for free. You want to pick it up? Take it, and it was like the most liberating thing ever, because I thought these things made me so happy, but after getting rid of them, I got far happier. And living in America, right? It's a Western philosophy of adding more stuff to make yourself happy. So before, when I was unhappy or lacking energy or motivation, I would buy something. I would buy a car, buy a watch, buy some material item to add to my life, because this will temporarily make me happy. And you know what? It'll, make me numb to the real issue. And I realized I'm going to do the complete opposite of that and get rid of everything, go to the Eastern philosophy of letting everything go. And I just, again, took a bold step, got rid of everything, and actually decided, I'm going to go to Thailand, because 2 years ago, I did this 10-day silent retreat of Vipassana meditation. And it was based on the Buddhist philosophy of meditation, is actually the 10 days that led him to enlightenment. And that was one of the most groundbreaking experiences of my life, because for 10 days, I had no technology, no phones, no talking, no connection with the outside world. It was just me and my own thoughts. It was like the complete most minimal thing you could do. And those 10 days were the happiest I've been in a very long time. That was when I was really going through my extreme ups and downs and soul searching, trying to figure out what to do. And I remembered the meditation in the 10-day silent retreat. It's called the Vipassana meditation. And actually it was based in Thailand. So there's something about Thailand that drew me, that, wow, I got so much out of this meditation process. I would like to visit this country and go to some of these sacred sites and be in these environments to really just immerse myself in it. And that's pretty much how I went there. And I remember going there, just literally the first 24 hours, I felt like this huge weight was lifted off my shoulder. All of the insights and grounding I got from the meditation, I kind of felt like I was feeling that again in the environment. Thailand is known as the land of smiles. Everyone's smiling at you. So you're smiling back. Everyone is so happy. And, of course, this country has extremely wealthy people, extremely poor people, but you see people in the poorest conditions and they're just happy. They just have so much joy. They're so nice. Thailand is a very safe country. People genuinely want to help you. And I'm this tourist who doesn't speak the language, they're smiling at me, helping me. And I'm like, wow, these people are giving so much to me and they're not asking for anything in return. I would try to give them tips or money. No, 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 no. We no take. And I'm like, wow, what a place to be. I really like this country. There's something about it. And based on that vacation, I said, you know what? Let me just move there. Let me get a one-way ticket and just go there and travel more and really understand what is the big draw of this country. And a lot of it is just being in the moment, to be quite honest with you, just living in this beautiful, peaceful state, because most of Thailand is Buddhist, and the people here are just have this peace about them. They're very kind, very compassionate, and energetically, it's very contagious to everyone, including me.
Yeah, I love that. It's so interesting. I remember that post where you did ask for help, and for people who don't know AJ, he's a very popular man, right? He's when he posts something on Facebook, it's not just, hey, a couple of comments here and there. He gets basically smacked around the chops with comments left, right, and center. So when someone like AJ would post, hey, I'm not feeling so good, you got a wealth of comments. So many, and I was looking and seeing the exact standard process that what everybody does. And I know I'm a left fielder, so I came in and just went, I'm gonna give him a little bit of I'll give him a DM and give him a little bit of a left fielder approach, because one thing I do, AJ, that you don't know about is my job is I blend the East and West philosophy.
Wow.
So I bring what's really good in the West and connect it with the East. So then we've got this beautiful resonance, because it's a polarity.
Yes.
From catalyst, from attainment to letting go, right? And there's this attainment that you get from letting go in the East, and then there's this missing part where they don't quite often want stuff, right? And they're happy with that. So it's really interesting to see that I did help you. And I've had a lot of people say this to me over the years, AJ, where you said that one thing that changed me. And it took you on a pathway. And I think this is really essential, listeners, is that we've got a guy here who has been in the making it world. Now he's going into another world. What's next here for you, AJ? You're in a place probably where you need some space right now to digest the environment that you're in. And the thing that I love about you is you're a massive creator, right? You've got a mind that creates and thinks very, very differently, and is really open to being in a different place in your mind. So what's next for you, mate? So where are you in at the moment? So you've moved over there. You're in the place of letting go, detachment, and all of those sorts of things. What's happening for you at the moment?
Yeah, great question, Jason. Right now, I guess I'm in the most uncertain place in my life. To be quite honest with you, I don't know what's next. Thankfully, after selling my business and selling a lot of my personal items, I essentially invested a lot of that. And I've been doing a lot of investing just so I could have passive income coming in where I don't have to work. And the good thing about Thailand is the cost of living is extremely low. It's really incredibly cheap to live here and have a good quality of life. And I kind of told myself that for the next 6 months, at least, I want to take a sabbatical and travel, not just around Thailand, but around Asia, and just document my experience, just share on social media. Here's what I'm going, here's what I'm doing. And I kind of feel that organically, my next step's going to come up. I don't know exactly what that is. I don't know what industry it's going to be, but for many years, when I was in the process of selling my business, wanting to get out of it, I was causing myself a lot of stress because I was saying, what do I want to do next? What's the next thing? I got to figure it out. I got to come up with a new idea. What's the new industry I want to go in? Is this going to work? Is this going to be financially stable for me? I don't want to put all this time into something and it fails. And I'm now taking the opposite approach because that didn't work for me. Instead of forcing something to come, I would like to basically give and figure out a way of adding massive value to people without asking for monetary return. I don't want to make any money from it, whether I'm doing videos or I have a live event here and there, or do a little retreat, or just basically coach people and consult them. I want to do it for free, if that makes sense. I don't want to charge for it. And I also don't want to figure out, okay, I'm going to create this new YouTube channel per se. All right, what's the funnel for this channel? All right, how am I going to monetize this? What am I going to sell on the back end? Because I was doing that for, for decades. It was always adding value to sell something. But thankfully, I'm in a good place financially where I don't have to make money directly. So in a sense, I feel that by just giving in the purest way possible, helping people, giving advice, consulting, facilitating great experience for people, somehow, some way, indirectly, organically, that next step's going to come to me.
I love that. So what I'm hearing, AJ, is you're in the place where you've created your magic and you're wanting to actually build contribution from your heart.
Yes.
And one of the coolest things about people like you, AJ, is that when someone's highly creative, listeners, and they've got this magic, not everyone can be an AJ, by the way. There's certain aspects of people, and you'll see this with the karma when you look at the Buddhism approach. There's an understanding. We do Jyotish astrology, which is Eastern astrology. So it shows where people are at and what people can do with their magic and where people can go. Now, when you meet someone like AJ, what I've got to experience with you just from feeling you out today, and also, watching you on Facebook, is this sense of magnetism, right? Not everyone has this ability to do what AJ does. The coolest thing about you, mate, is that you're going to have that calling. It will come. And the tricky thing with people like you is that you can't be a hidden person, because you're destined for actually contribution and service. And it's just the way that you do it. And it's so nice to actually hear a person who knows that they're here for something special. And I think, in my opinion, AJ, you are really special. You've got a uniqueness to you. And you've got this thing that has this capacity to bring people to you. And it's going to be nice to see sort of where this comes out for you and sort of what it looks like and where it goes, because wherever AJ goes, people are going to follow him.
Well, thank you, Jason. That's a really beautiful compliment. I received that and it warms my heart. Appreciate you saying that. I'm a little emotional hearing that from you. And to be quite honest, I'm just thinking about like what you're doing. That's actually a big inspiration for me, because I am always been into psychology, the mindset, spirituality, personal development. And that's all I listen to all day long. The books I read, the YouTube videos I watch, the conversations I have with my friends. And I always thought it was really cool and really respectful for the people that could create a living out of a personal development based business model. For many years, I was a weight loss expert. So I was helping people through fitness. And then it was to make money, business coaching. And to be quite honest, I always had a lot of insecurities that if I ever did mindset related stuff or personal development stuff, that I wouldn't make any money. That's such a hard business. No one wants to pay for that stuff. They want to pay to make another $30,000 to $40,000 a month, but to become happier or to improve a major roadblock in their life, they wouldn't invest in it. So when I see people like you, Jason, it's an inspiration for me, because I'm like, you're one of the few that I actually know who's actually making a good living, providing for your family, and also impacting the world.
Yeah, well, this might be your next stage, mate. Because look, one of the things that I love about what you just said is that you're a master of tangibility. You've created tangible results. And one of the things that is quite challenging for the personal development space is quite often that happiness is an intangible aspect,
Yes.
right? And so when you've got this, there's like 4 intangible layers that come along with a successful business in any way, shape, or form. And quite often, the people who are really good business coaches, they focus on the mindset a little bit, and they do the physical legwork, the tactics, and all of those things that come
Yes.
along with it. And that can create a multi-billion-dollar business or million-dollar business if you want it. There's these other layers, and I love the fact that you're in Thailand going to experience those intangible layers, which is spirit, energy, emotions, and the mind,
Mm.
which encapsulates your physicality, right? And so the fact that you've already broken through an ability to create abundance in the form of financial return for what you do, and you have this want and desire coming back to your roots, to the psychology and all of those sorts of things, I think you're going to be a little bit of a lay down misère to actually help people build that bridge potentially, to be able to make that intangible become the most important tangibility that we're here to exist in this world, because this is what the East does really well. It
Mm.
brings this intangible quality, which is a smile, right? And you got to experience that when you weren't feeling so good. You got smiled at and you started actually feeling better because people could see that a smile matters more than a dollar.
Yes. True. Yeah,
And
that's
maybe this is where you're going, mate. You're going to go and have 6 months of chilling out and figuring out sort of what this even looks like. Because what I see that comes out of your mouth, AJ, is beauty. I see a really when I first saw you on Facebook, I saw really sad eyes, and I still see those sad eyes. And that's the beauty of working through enlightenment, is the sorrow actually connects you to what really matters.
mm.
And then the joy is what is born out of that. So it's nice that you're in this place that can give you that time to adjust and figure out, well, what else and what matters next.
Absolutely. No, thank you, Jason. And I appreciate you sharing those 4 intangibles, because I never heard of it before put in that way. And that's very beautiful. And I totally agree that that framework is powerful. And I think it was Jim Carrey who had this great quote. He said, I wish everyone could become rich and famous, only to realize that it's not cracked up of what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And I remember as a young man, people saying similar. I would hear a story of someone who was a multi-millionaire, and then they got rid of everything, or they went bankrupt, they lost it all, and all of a sudden they minimized their life, they became happier. And I could share my story, but I feel for a lot of people, they say, you know what? Let me make that $1,000,000. Let me live in the mansion. Let me drive the exotic car. I want to taste it, right? Because they're not going to take, firsthand information. And at the end of the day, it's really becoming self-aware. And this is something you're really good at, teaching people to be self-aware of what they really want. Because most people want to be a millionaire. And you say, why do you want to be a millionaire? Oh, because I'll have a lot of money to buy things I want. Why is that important? To provide for my family. You ask them why, and oftentimes it just comes down to feeling enough. I want to feel significant. I want love. I want people to love me, and it's like, wow, why can't we just focus on the core thing? Why can't you feel enough right now, instead of having to have this amount of money in your bank account, this much commas and numbers, because once you hit that numerical sequence, then you're happy, then you feel enough, then you feel loved.
Yeah, I love that. Well, AJ, I really want to thank you for getting the chance to gain your wisdom, your magic, your understanding, and the beauty that actually comes from your heart. You're such a beautiful man. And I really feel blessed and that I've got the opportunity to interview you today. And listeners, if you want to get in touch with AJ, I'll put all the details of how to find AJ. He's probably going to be a little bit unfindable for the next 6 months or so. You might have to poke him a little bit, but I'll get all the details of him. And look, if you are interested in finding out some of the work around personal development that we do, jump on a call with me. I'm really good at finding out what you can't see. I can see it. So if you like this podcast, please share it with a friend around what really, really matters, because AJ has given a huge bunch of wisdom bombs here today. And I'd love the opportunity for people who really need to hear this information to grab it. So like and share this podcast and let people know that there's another way of approaching life. And thank you so much, AJ, for jumping on Uncovered today.
Well, thank you, Jason. I just want to acknowledge you really quickly because you are the real deal, right? I remember hearing about you in Black Belt, of people just speaking so highly of you, talking about how talented you are and what you're accomplishing. And then we connected on Facebook, and I just love reading your posts, seeing your content, seeing the results that you get for people. And then when you reached out to me when I was going through my difficult time energetically, and how much you helped me, and you weren't even like, hey, I want you to pay me this money and then I'm going to help you. No, you just gave and you helped and you really solved my problem without asking for anything. And I was really shocked with how generous you are with your time and obviously your skill set, what you charge people money for. So I appreciate that about you. And there are very few people in this world like you, Jason. So it's an honor to be chatting with you and to also be your friend.
Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate you, and we really appreciate your time, because time is so valuable. What we'd love you guys to do, if you like this podcast, if you could share it with your friends, and also our website address for the podcast is www.wellnessbreakthroughacademypodcast.com. Our website is www.wellnessbreakthroughacademy.com. We have a free Facebook group called Wellness Leadership Evolution, so search for that. I'd love it if you could add me as a friend on Facebook. I don't bite, so add me as a friend. And if you want some help and you would really like some support from us in the Academy, jump in. We have a process. You can do a break-in call to connect in with us. We do small courses. We have lots of things that we share. So we'd love the opportunity to give you a chance to change your life and turn it into a free one. You are one transformation away from change. Come and catch up.